guys, it's Nicola Bird here from alittlepeaceofmind.co.uk. So today I wanted to jump in and create this video for you to talk about an experience I had where I realised again what it meant to listen for a feeling and ignore my words, as Sid Banks always used to say. And so I was on my yoga mat and I started doing a restorative yoga class, which I love. And part of that yoga class is like a guided meditation. And so as I was lying on my mat, totally kind of blissed out, and I was listening to the yoga teacher's words, and I can't even tell you what she said, but she was kind of guiding us around the body, and then she was asking us to bring these different images to mind. And so she was talking about a starry night, a beautiful garden, a dripping fountain, like all these different words. And it was I'd come to the mat in a really quiet mind. So I know I can come to my yoga mat with a really busy mind, but tonight, for whatever reason, I was in a really quiet mind, and there was just all this feeling of space. And so I was really present in that moment, and her words were washing over me, and it didn't really matter what she was saying, to be honest, because I was in this lovely feeling, and my yoga teacher has this really lovely feeling. So she was sharing, and it was resonating with the same space in me, and basically I was having a lovely time. And in that space, like thoughts bubble up, insights, just a lovely feeling. And then as she was going through her lists of words, she said, you walk through the garden, and as you're walking through the garden, you can see the daffodils and the roses all blooming together. And my mind went, you don't get daffodils and roses at the same time as each other. That doesn't happen. You get daffodils, and then in the summer you get roses. They never come at the same time. And off went my mind. Totally, I'd hooked onto the words, I'd hooked onto the concepts, I'd hooked onto, do I believe that? Does that make sense? Yeah, but, in an instant, that beautiful feeling had gone. Now I know enough about this understanding that I laughed at myself and just dropped it and came back to feeling in this lovely space. But it was such a great example of listening to a feeling, not the words. When we listen in this conversation, so often what we're doing is we're listening for the magic bullet, we're listening for the words, we're listening for the prescription, we're looking for what is it that you understand, what is the idea that you understand or believe in, that if I could hear it, understand it and believe in it, would change my life. So we're processing the words, we're seeing whether we agree, don't agree, whether we can remember it, whether we can make sense of it, whether we can understand it, whether we have any yeah buts. It's kind of how we've always been taught to listen in school. And instead, the invitation in this conversation to get the most out of it is to set all that to one side and let the words wash over you. You don't need to listen, get or understand the words, and any attempt to do so, as I did with the daffodils and the roses, is one of the fastest ways to take you out of the good feeling. We don't realise the power of sitting in a beautiful feeling. That's the space through which insight comes. That's the space through which inner healing happens. That's the space through which love and joy and connection and peace come into our experience if we let them. Never through the workings of our mind trying to figure out and understand. So if you find that you're showing up to these videos or these conversations and you're thinking, yeah, but I don't get it, I need to get it, that totally is the mind trying to understand. Right? That's a surefire sign. You're using the wrong thing for the job. And it's not a case of getting it, understanding the concepts with your mind. Gosh, if I had to get and understand and remember the whole journey that my yoga teacher took me on in order to find peace and well-being, I've got no chance. But instead, when I'm prepared to let all of that go and just let the space that fall into the space that's always there, I know magic happens in that space. I know it. I've had so much experience of it. And so I want to invite you to do the same while you listen, while you maybe watch Sid Banks, where you listen to any of the podcasts, listen to any of your teachers in this understanding, to put all this to one side. Forget about the daffodils and the roses. It's not the point. The point is the beautiful feeling that we fall into. I hope that's helpful to you. I really hope that's helpful to you, because it took me so long to learn how to listen when I bumped into this conversation. I don't know if this shortcuts your learning how to listen, but I hope so. Right, I'll be back with you with another video next week.